thinking Arby's.
Opening game of women's 10-pin play. Week 1, Melody Savage, defending champion, against Colleen Insko, and both of them with strikes in the first, both 9 counts, so we're even at 28 as we see Melody Savage from Stonewall, Manitoba, bull here in the third.
That's a pretty good ball, actually, considering where it ended. It hit on the left-hand side. The ball got lots of action over there, only leaving up a single pin. Here's a lady that we have seen many times before on television, and she's a gambler. She likes Texas Hold'em. And she knows how to gamble when she's going for spare shots and strikes. So it should be an interesting day.
Well, as we say, if we had this game as a final, we would be touting it as a possible classic. These are two very experienced bowlers. We first saw Colleen Insko on TSN back in 1996. Her first appearance, the TSN Pins game, and she won it. She won the championship first time out, and then she was a runner-up back in 01, and then 03 she won another Pins game championship.
She's talking to herself a little bit on that ball. She eased up, and as a result paid a terrible price. Got a big split. Pretty tough. It's possible to make that, but not very often. Certainly at this stage of the game will she make that kind of a shot. Wonderful lady. We watched her actually basically grow and turn into a charming person, and over the years she's averaging now 217 using a 15-pound bowling ball.
Little light?
Well, she's being a little bit cautious or tentative, whatever you like to call it, and she's paying the price. She can go across the side there on the try and pick this up. Gets on the inside of it. There's the ball going over. She went for it.
So another 8 count for 44 through 4 for Colleen Insko. Melody Savage. Melody made her first appearance on TSN back in 1993. The Pins game. She won a Pins championship in 97. But it's been this Canadian championship where she's really shone, winning in 05 and 07. And now back to defend and follows up the spare with a strike in 4.
Watch how she kneels here, basically. There's the foot on the floor. She doesn't rear up, and as a result the ball is free flowing, and that's what you want. Her opponent, on the other hand, is jerking the ball just a little bit, and it's just that instant when she lets go. But watch what happens. Melody sets herself up properly, turns the hand over, watch the back of her wrist, and now when she turns it up, there's where she gets the power. Four, 7.
Now when she looks at that 4-7 standing there, is she still happy with the way she threw the ball?
I think she is, because she came in a little bit late on the head pin compared to what she'd really like to have done, going right in. It's such a narrow, it's like the size of a dime that you're trying to hit down there. So to get away with the 4-7 as against Colleen, who's having a split problem, it's 2 in her back-to-back there. That's not the way she wants to do it. Now watch, see if Colleen can make the adjustment. She has to keep her foot down on the floor, and then that's better. Now she'll get more action on it. A little bit faster on that one, and it's good. That keeps the ball out further. When it dives for her, this one stays on the right-hand side of the head pin. If you go left to the head pin or high up in the center of the head pin, you're going to get a split, and that's what she's been doing.
Oh boy.
And that is just a mental lapse. Certainly not evident of the capabilities of Colleen by any stretch.
No, so you can see she opened with the strike, but has had 4 opens since. And Melody more consistent, had the open in 2, but marks in 3, 4, and 5. So Colleen really needs to get something going, and that may be the start for her here in 6.
Well, that's a true example of somebody with experience, because she's been on television 12 different times, has won $32,000, and this is one of the examples why. Right over top of her head with her arm, the release went straight through, nice and relaxed.
So with a spare up in 5, Melody Savage here in the 6th. And there they go.
Nice and relaxed with the release, and you can tell she's pretty composed. Watch this ball from behind, turning it back. There you go.
So Savage with a 35-point or 35-pin lead through 5. Both bowlers with strikes up in 6. Melody is the office manager for Instabox in Stonewall, Manitoba, which is north of Winnipeg.
Straight in on the 10-pin. Look at the pin laying on the channel there in the gutter. Wrap around. Watch as she sets the pin right in there, right straight through. A beautiful shot. Camera work is excellent as usual. And the I've got to say the corner pins are the one that she has to knock down, and she's quite pleased with that one. Let's watch Colleen here as she inserts her fingers. She's got pretty good balance. Everything's right here, and then as she gets to the line, well, that's much better.
Crossing over. Get away with it? No.
Thank you would be the comment if she was getting all the strikes. But watch as she just releases the ball. She's rearing up there, and that's not the normal style for her. You want to be able to be releasing the ball and just relax. And if anything else, you go 1, 2, 3, and wait till the ball goes through. As she goes through here, watch now. She's better there, but she's been pulling up, and as a result, she's got this game that she would rather forget about.
So by pulling up and without the extension, the ball doesn't get down on the right side of the pin. It tends to cross over a little bit.
Well, you don't get the spin like there. She got the revolutions better on the bowling ball. The ball started to turn up for her. Watch as she gets in this one here. Here's where she gets the power. She keeps her knee down there, reaches out, and then, as you indicated, if you rear up, then you jerk the ball. You don't have that free
pull it across the head pin, right? So well, that's a bad time for an open. She had 2 marks up, the strike and the spare, so the open in 8. The 9 count leaves her at 101 through 8, and compare that to Melody Savage, who's at 108 through 6 with a spare up in 7. So very much Melody Savage's game right now.
Watch Melody. She's concentrating right on the push away. Gets it out. There's the nice balance at the line. Yanked it a little bit. Baby split. To all intents and purposes, this is a game certainly that Colleen would rather forget about. And she's out of the game unless, as you can see, she's really down on herself there.
Poor thing. Colleen Insko, who is the head housekeeper at the Travel Lodge in Medicine Hat. Melody Savage out of the Club La Vérendre in Winnipeg. And she'll have the open. Her second open of the game comes in the 8th, 135 through 8.
Well, Colleen ran into trouble right away, and that's, you know, you only have 10 frames to make your move, and of course when you get splits, she didn't have the luxury, as you see Melody there. She was standing just taking the time to think about it.
Now Melody averages 202 in her at her house.
Beautiful. That's the way to come back from an open.
And isn't that? And you know what? That's a key, I think, with regards to this game. It's parking the mistake or the difficulty and just focusing on your next shot.
Well, Melody is not worrying about losing. She's not worried about having a split or anything. She's going for the head. And here we have Colleen, who's nervous, but now she's got her head back into the game, and that was a great reaction on the other end. And of course, she'll be a little happy. She's still shaking her head. Watch this, the difference right here. That's the way that lady has to bowl. I've watched her for 20 years, and that's exactly when she gets into her game. She concentrated there. the foot never left the back of the approach. Now watch, let's see if she can back it up again. Here's where she's turned it. Now, strangely enough, she turned it back in a little bit.
Oh, dear.
As a result there,
Oh, dear.
she couldn't do anything more wrong in the game. And it's just unbelievable that with the talent that she has and the tough time that she has, the rhythm just wasn't there for her today. But certainly one of the talented bowlers we've got in Canada, period.
Oh, absolutely. Not Colleen Insko's day. She'll finish with a 127. And how disappointing is that for Colleen Insko, a two-time Pins Game champion. And see, there's no different. And then that's the thing we've pointed out through 10-pin play and through the 5-pin play. It's a different game here. It's one game. You can't hide anything in tournament. Tournament play, you can have your bad game, maybe 2 bad games, and make up your pin count somewhere else. You can't hide here.
Very true, and we've seen examples of it over the years. But one of the things that you do find is that the bowlers, what that'll do with Colleen is she'll go back and she'll practice more, and she'll look at the tape and she'll see it, and she'll come back. Believe me. About the time you're ready to throw the game up and give it away, then you'll toss a good ball and you'll say, okay. And I'm sure it's like tennis or golf or anything else.
You always hope that the last shot is a good one, so it keeps you coming back.
Let's watch Melody as she sets up here, and then she always looks down at her hand. Good point for people to remember. Nice and relaxed, straight through. And the only difference between it is the ball is going down a little bit further, and she's giving herself a chance to get away from the split problems.
Our defending champion, Melody Savage, takes the first step towards a possible 3rd Canadian Championship title. Melody Savage is through and now waits to see who she'll play in the quarterfinals.